Welcome to this overview on web hosting. Steve will introduce you to where you can find more on web hosting if you want to know more. He will share with you what he thinks is the 3 most important criteria when shopping for web hosting. Also, what he thinks, how to use free web hosting. Finally, his suggestion where to host your website. Steve, it's all yours.
Thank you, Joanna. Here we go. My name is Steve and
this video is going to dive into web hosting and some of my suggested do's and don'ts. Now, if you want more technical information on web hosting, then head on over to this Wikipedia page at wikipedia.org/wiki/web hosting service, and don't forget the underscores there. And while most of us will never need to know the stuff on this page, it does have some helpful information, just in case you need to know more than what I'm going to be covering in this video. Now, just starting out, you only need 1 domain name and 1 hosting service account, but in time, you may find the need to add to this. But to get your feet wet, let's go ahead and just start off small while we're in the learning process and grow smart from there. Now, when shopping for web hosting service, there are what I call the 3 C's to consider: cost, customer service, and cPanel, and not always in that order. Meaning that if the cost is low but the customer service is terrible, then it may not be such a good deal after all. Likewise, if the cost is low and the customer service is great, but it does not have cPanel, then in my humble opinion, I would continue to look elsewhere. When talking about cost, some hosting companies provide you with a free domain name if you buy their hosting services. But having all of your eggs in one basket is not always a good idea. So get your main domain from 1&1, then transfer it over to Name Silo for the deepest discount available for your yearly domain cost. And if the hosting company you decide to go with offers you a free domain, then you can use that domain as, say, a tester or a dummy domain, or better yet, see if you're allowed to transfer that domain to a different registrar later on if you wanted to. Now, at this point, I want to mention that there are free hosting companies available if you want to kick the tires a little bit before you start getting serious about building websites. Now, there are a whole bunch of reasons why I would suggest you not use one of the many free hosting companies to host your website files, but just know that they do exist just in case you're starting off with a low to no budget. But as soon as you can afford it, move your files to a paid hosting service, and that's a must. Okay, so that's who I suggest not using. Now for a couple of suggestions on who to use. My number 1 suggestion is Liquid Web, and you can find out more about their shared hosting products at liquidweb.com/web-hosting, or just go to the main page, hover over products, and come on over here to shared web hosting and click on the web hosting overview. That'll bring you to this page here where you can learn all about their different shared hosting plans. And as you can see, their smallest package starts at $15 a month. Now, the other service that I'm going to recommend is called Green Geeks, and you can find out more about them at greengeeks.com/web-hosting, and that brings you to their smallest package for shared hosting, and that starts at $396 a month. But I don't want this video to turn into a sales video for these 2 companies. Just wanted to let you know that these are the 2 companies that I would suggest you check out first and foremost. And if you do continue to research elsewhere, use these as a comparison tool to judge the other services by. My guess is you're going to come back to one of these, be it Liquid Web or Green Geeks. Now, these 2 suggestions come from somebody that has used more than a dozen different hosting services, starting with 1&1 back in 2006. Now, earlier I had mentioned the 3 C's when hunting for hosting companies. In addition to those, you need to be concerned with what is called uptime. The uptime is the hosting company's ability to keep your website running without interruptions, like power outages or someone spilling their coffee on a keyboard in the data center. Excellent hosting companies will have layers of backups or redundancies. In case something goes wrong with one server, it will automatically start up another server, or if the power goes out because of a storm or whatever, a generator will automatically kick in. Now, these 2 suggested hosting companies have had limited to no downtime in my experience with them, so for me, the uptime has been a non-issue. Whomever you decide to go with, you will receive an email from them after your payment is made, and that email is going to contain very important information like your login details for your cPanel and links to helpful guides and their support area just in case you have questions. So store those emails in a safe place because you're definitely going to need them. That's going to bring us to the end of this video on web hosting. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day.
Thanks, Steve. Below this video, you will find links to the 2 web hosting services suggested by Steve. Next, go to the Get Started with cPanel video series. cPanel is the name of the interface that web hosting services give you access to manage your website from the backend. There you will be able to manage certain files, set up all your emails, schedule backups and recovery, and more sophisticated features if needed, or great features like the one-click WordPress installation, etc. I'm Kendra from freelancerexchange.com. Thank you for watching. See you in the next chapter. Get started with cPanel. Goodbye.